Today marks the one-year anniversary of the tragic situation that happened in one of our neighboring districts last year. And I think we would all be negligent if we have not improved our safety and security of our schools since that event. And I don't know that you're ever where you want to be, and we continue to work on this, but we have made a significant focus on safety in our district with additional resources. Strategic planning it revolves around safety, partnerships with our sheriff's department and local communities, communication, just for anticipation, as well as execution. And we will continue to work on that. And we remember those four individuals that we lost last September, and we'll continue to keep the Bexar County community in our thoughts as they work through that. A few other announcements that I have. We had a number of our schools recognized as PBIS Distinguished Schools by the Department of Education over the past week. PBIS is Positive Behavior Intervention and Supports, goes right back into our safety initiatives. These schools, East Jackson Elementary, Gum Springs Elementary, Maysville Elementary, North Jackson Elementary, South Jackson Elementary, and West Jackson Middle School were all named PBIS Distinguished Schools. Also, last week we had our Audit Excellence Conference, and I'm happy to report that there were no findings once again this year. So congratulations to Aaron Bryant, Anna Dodge, for all of your work and effort on making that happen. I've had a chance over the last couple of weeks to once again visit all of our schools and just say thank you to our amazing staff, bus drivers and school food nutrition and bus monitors and all those individuals that work extremely hard to make sure that our kids have what they need each and every day. So a big thank you to our staff and the team that continues to work behind the scenes to make sure that our kids are supported and our community is proud of our school district. Dr. Hardigree?
Well, good evening. Good to see everyone tonight. We're going to bring to you a couple of pieces. First up, we have our RESA fixed price contract for shared services. And this, as we grow, our needs continue to increase. So this provides us with all of our shared services to meet the needs of our students with IEPs. And we're grateful for that partnership and just appreciate that we can meet all of those needs, but just wanted to put that out there for your review. And it has a spot for you to review and then requires the signature there. Any questions around that? And then we want to go ahead and get into sharing our spring end of course and end of grade milestones data with you. This was embargoed until the end of August, so we usually bring it to you around this time. So this is all of our spring state assessment data. And we're really pleased to just share with you the consistent increase in our performance. So I always like to start with just reminding all of us that our kids are so much more than one test score or one state assessment, and we all know that. And the work that we're doing to elevate the student experience and elevate that learning experience and excitement, engagement for students every day is really centered around our portrait of a graduate and all of the things that we want for our kids. When I think of what I want for my kids, I want them to be confident, I want them to be risk takers, I want them to be critical thinkers, and that's what we're all working towards. But we also believe that when all of those things are in place, our kids will also perform at the highest levels, and they'll be well prepared for those state assessments. So just kind of looking at it through that lens. And I think what we continue to see, we all know this is not quick work. It is not work that you can impact necessarily in a single year, but we also know that we're on the right trajectory because we're seeing those incremental gains and continued increase. And every year we might have this one grade level or that one course where we're like, okay, that didn't quite play out like we expected, and we really dig into those areas. But I want to highlight just the continued increase that we're seeing in literacy, because that is a huge celebration as we think about what that means for our kids. And when they're reading on grade level in 3rd grade or 5th grade, the doors that opens for them and the success that they'll continue to have throughout their school career. So I know that we're all just greatly committed to that work. And now that we are several years into that and you know, really in partnership with the entire state, we're seeing some really significant gains that are definitely worth celebrating. So as we start here with 3rd grade reading, And I'll just kind of walk you through those and share, and you'll see we have the state and RESA comparisons, and we consistently see that we're performing above the state and in most cases above the RESA in all of these areas, but we have some really great things to share here. So starting with third grade reading, we have that increase of 7% of students reading on grade level. And we are really pushing for that 80%. We want, and when we get to 80%, we'll push for 85% and continue on because we want all of our students to reach proficiency in reading. But this is definitely a celebration in third grade. We had just a slight dip in fourth grade. You'll also notice that the state had a little bit of a dip there as well. Actually, the state and the RESA stayed about the same. So that's one that we'll just continue to focus on. Fifth grade was also a really significant increase, 5% there, which did drop a little bit for the state and RESA. And then sixth grade, also that 4% increase. Seventh grade, we also had a 2% increase. And as we talk about this grade level reading status, this is pulling from the reading, vocabulary, and comprehension questions of the milestone, so it's not really looking at the writing component as much. Sometimes that question comes up, but it's just focused on those test items. And then eighth grade, we did have a little bit of a dip there, an area that we're focused on. And then just a little dip in American Lit. And we'll notice we had some dips in high school that where we're really digging in and looking at alignment and looking at that. Also, that it was kind of a mirrored dip. If we go back, also saw kind of mirrored with the state. Then we get into, so same assessment, but looking at different items here. So when we look at the ELA assessment, you'll notice that there are just a few differences there in that performance, but it's pulling from different items. So sometimes that can be a little bit puzzling, but I think what we're recognizing is just that continued need to really focus with our kids on being able to apply what they're reading at a high level and what they're writing as well. So looking at third grade, milestones had just a slight dip there. Fourth grade was actually an increase where we had a dip in the reading status. And then fifth grade had a slight dip there as well. Sixth grade, just a little bit of a gain. Seventh grade increased 2%. And then eighth grade had a dip there as well. So we definitely have those areas of focus where we're really kind of digging into that with leaders, getting in those PLCs and amping up kind of our instructional awareness walks to look at that instruction there. And then also saw that dip that mirrored the reading status in AMLIT. With math, really great improvements. And just to also point out, we're looking at level 3s and 4s here. So when CCRPI comes out, we'll look at content mastery, which will include all of the levels because that content mastery kind of factors in. But for our school improvement goals, we really focus on level 3 and 4 because that's where we want to get our kids, is to that proficient and distinguished level. So in math, we did increase in achievement level, like the overall achievement score, which does factor in all 4 levels in every single area. And we improved in 3s and 4s in almost every area as well. So just kind of moving through here with math. Third grade. You'll see that increase of 3%. As I mentioned, fourth grade was the only area where we didn't have the increase in 3s and 4s. Fifth grade, we had really good gains there, increase in 5%. Sixth grade, increased to 2% there. Seventh grade, a really strong increase, went up 6%, level 3s and 4s. And then eighth grade, also a 4% increase. And then when we get to algebra, we had just that 1% increase, and this is an area where we're also really focused. When we look at our middle school students, we had 93% of our middle school students taking Algebra 1 reached proficient or distinguished. An area that we've really looked at with our leaders, really looking at alignment, reviewing those assessments, and just continuing that PLC work. Science, fifth grade science, saw a great increase there. We also, then as we get into biology, this one is a puzzling one because it's been a relative strength for us over the past few years, but we did have a dip here. So definitely an area where we're digging in with our PLCs, really reviewing all of those assessments. A lot of our design team work focuses around reviewing assessments for alignment, for rigor, and really digging into those curriculum developed, the units that our teachers are developing together, and then working on the collaboration between our schools. And we have those design teams meeting throughout the year as well as in the summer. And then social studies, 8th grade was another area really of great increase in improvement here with 8% increase in 8th grade social studies, Georgia studies. So overall, we're talking about incremental gains that aren't huge, but they continue to move in the right direction. So I think it affirms just the hard work of our students, our teachers, our leaders, and it just reminds us that we've got to stay the course. This year in teaching and learning, we've been talking about with our leaders, with all of our principals and our admin groups, that it's really going to be about continuing focused professional learning to make sure that all of our teachers have the tools and the knowledge to really do their job very well and to do it at a high level, because all of our students deserve that high level of instruction every day. And then it's about partnering with our leaders to really be out in classrooms and doing those instructional awareness walks so that we can all be building that together. And you know, I really believe that all of our teachers, they all want that very high level of performance for our students. And so sometimes it's just about the feedback and really sharing that and building that together. So when we think back to our strategic priorities, again, we're focused on content mastery, and that's what's reflected here, but we're also really focused on engagement. We want our kids to have great clarity in what they're learning and to feel accomplished and to feel ready for these assessments. We don't want them to get to the state assessment and be nervous about it. We want them to have a great confidence because of the experience that they've had all year long. So that's why we really kind of pair that content mastery with engagement, and then, of course, the readiness at all levels. So wanted to bring that update to you. Do you have any questions for me or any questions about the work that we're doing? All right, well, thank you. Oops.
Well, good evening, board. I am excited to be here this evening, and as someone who serves in human resources, it is my great joy to celebrate the incredible people that we have in Jackson County and who make Jackson County a wonderful place to be and work. So I wanted to highlight a little bit about what is going on in our world, and it is my favorite time of the year. It is Teacher and Support Person of the Year time. So the recognition is truly, it's one that just highlights all of the people in our district that make this one of the best places to be. And so it fills my bucket every year to listen in on the interviews and to go and observe in classrooms. But just to give you an update, this is our timeline in the selection process. Each award began with a very clear set of criteria at the school level, and then nominees completed an essay and participated in an interview, and finalists were chosen from the school level. And it just makes sure that we have a very thoughtful process, that we are choosing those that represent the best of the best. And I hope you've been watching on social media. We've been shouting out our school level winners for Teacher of the Year and Support Person of the Year. These educators and staff members represent the heart of our schools. They inspire students, support their colleagues, and make a difference in countless ways every single day. So recognizing them at the school level is an important way to highlight the excellence happening in every corner of our district. And so please make sure you're giving hearts and thumbs up to all of those that are out there on social media, because it is truly a celebration. This is just the highlight of our finalists that were selected for Teacher of the Year, Support Person of the Year, and our Bus Driver of the Year. These individuals stood out through the selection process as leaders who go above and beyond, whether in the classroom, behind the scenes, or on a bus. They embody dedication, care, and professionalism. Their work ensures our students are safe, supported, and able to learn at the highest levels, and we are so excited to honor each of them. And then coming up, make sure it's on your calendar, all of those honorees are going to be celebrated at our annual banquet. It is such a special evening. We will not have a hurricane this year. I have been assured by all the weather people that we will be able to have our banquet at the time that we've scheduled it and not with a rushed agenda, but we are looking forward to it. At the banquet is where we will announce our winners, and we are just excited about this tradition that we started 4 years ago, and it just shows how much we value the people in Jackson County, and it is a place where our students can thrive. So I just wanted tonight to give you an update on that process, to share those pictures with you one more time, because what makes this a great place to be are people. And so it's always great to be able to celebrate them and have them in front of you. Any questions about HR? All right, thank you.
Good evening, board members. Grateful for a chance to share a few thoughts with you tonight. Going over our enrollment report for the month of August. We finished the month with 11,517 Panthers and Eagles here in Jackson County, just a few students less than we started with. That is a growth of 278 students over the ending enrollment from last year. And we're getting reports from other districts that their numbers are actually down. So us having almost 300 kids more than we started last year is a big difference from some of our neighboring districts. One surprising thing as we looked at some of these numbers over the past week or so, one thing that maybe a lot of folks don't know is that 771 of our students in Jackson County are employee children. It's a big percentage. It's a lot of our kids. They're actually employees' kids. We're grateful for that. And out of our out-of-district students, over 218 of them are actually employee kids that are coming to us with their parents to live and go to school here in Jackson County. So we're excited for that too. So just some things there about the enrollment report. And we see that, of course, a lot of growth on the west side. The number there that really stands out, of course, is Jackson County High School there with 181 students over last year's ending enrollment. So just continuing to grow there at the high school level. Any questions about enrollment at this time? No? Very good. All right, let's talk a little bit, just an activity update for you. Just a few things to kind of talk about. We are underway, and our Panthers and Eagles and folks at Empower are just going to town. And you can see some of the activities that are in line here. Just wanted to showcase a few of them for you. Dozens and dozens of activities and sports and arts for our kids to participate in. Thousands of our young people participating in these things as we get the year kicked off, and staff members helping to support it. We're just so grateful for all the effort that's going into that and the opportunities that are there for our kids to participate. Some highlights for you. Looking at East Jackson High School football team, the Eagles are off to a 3-0 start with a big win over Commerce. A big rivalry win there. We were excited for them. Homecoming is this week against White County, and the Eagles looking to go 4-0. We're excited for them. I saw that they are one of the top scoring teams in 2A. As of this week with their offense, just doing some great things there at East Jackson. Some other things, the cross-country team, of course, coming off a state championship for the boys. They're making some great progress. I think there's a chance there for those guys to maybe repeat, so that would be great for them. Volleyball is improving as that young team is coming off some really young players getting some great experience. Softball had their first win last night. Excited for our new coach there at the softball team and the things she's bringing to the program. Esports, competition cheer getting started, as well as flag football, one-act play, lots of things just getting going. So great things happening there at East Jackson High School. Also wanted to highlight for you, the next slide if we could, just what's happening there with the Eagle Band. And they've got 85 members this year with only 11 seniors, so a very young band. But they are going to be putting on a show this year called Imprisonment, featuring music from a lot of people. I don't know what that means. So we've got Stranger Things. I do know that, and the rest, I'm not sure what that is. But probably great music there for the kids to play. They're hosting a competition this year on September 27th, and then they're also competing at Mill Creek and at Rome High School this year. And one thing that I wanted to point out is that our Eagle Band has not scored lower than other schools in their same classification in the last 5 years. So great job by the Eagle Band when they are competing. They're doing very, very well against the competition. Moving on, just some highlights for Jackson County. The cross-country team, they're showing some progress there. The boys team is doing very well. Girls team are growing. The football team is off to a 2-1 start. Some people say could be 3-0, should have been 3-0, maybe not, but certainly represented our county and their school system well all season so far. One of the things I saw is they were one of the most improved teams in 5A based on the Maxwell ratings. I think the second most improved team in the whole classification as of right now. Softball team off to a 7-2 start and a 2-1 region record. Our volleyball team is 16-4. It says 14-4 there, but they won 2 more last night. So they're 16-4, ranked number 2 in 5A, and they're also getting ready for competition cheer, one-act play, esports, flag football, all getting underway here in the next little bit. So some good things happening there. Talking about the Panther Band, they are 218 members this year. It is a large group of young people out there playing and throwing the flags around and doing some great things. Their show this year is called Villainous, and Mr. Tinnell told me to think of a playlist that a villain would be playing to get ready for their night out. So to kind of get themselves hyped up for so a bunch of villainous music, I guess they're putting out there. They've got 4 competitions ready to roll this year, in addition to our percussion group going off to compete in Indianapolis again this year. So some great things happening there with the Panther Band. Looking at Empower, let's go to middle schools first, then we'll do that. Softball, football, volleyball at the middle school, all having some success. Grateful for those highlights for those young people. At Legacy Knoll, looking at theirs. There we go. Volleyball, cross country, and football, having some good things happening for those guys. At West Jackson Middle School, their volleyball, softball, and of course they share that football team this year with Legacy as well. Had a big win last night at Lumpkin County, 30-0. We'll take that every time. We can go up there and beat up on Lumpkin County if we want to, so that's good. And then lastly, looking at Empower, some great things happening there. The FFA group, they had 4 of our students who earned the FFA American degree. Keely Schultz, Savannah Page, Chandler Lamp, and Brooks Franklin. Grateful for those young people and their hard work. And then our JROTC kids have 2 groups that have been selected. They're Raiders groups. They have 3 different teams of Raiders that will be competing in those Raider competitions over the next few weeks and months. And then the riflery teams from East Jackson and Jackson County were both selected, and they've started their practice. They'll be preparing for competitions as well. So great things happening at Empower all across our campuses. If we highlighted everything, I'd be up here for 3 hours. Dr. Brown says I take too long already. So with that, we're grateful for this chance to highlight a few things. Do you have any questions about some of our activities? Appreciate your time. Thanks, everybody.
Good evening, Board. I want to go ahead and apologize if there are several things under my finance update tonight, and I will try to be really, really, really quick with all of it, but there's some really amazing things happening. We're going to start with SPLOST, and we got another hefty deposit this month, and it is up over all measures again, month over month, year over year, and our 12-month average, and it's also helping to increase our 12-month average well over the $1.2 million mark. And I also want to point out that with the remaining balance that we have there and our next month SPLOST receipts, we will have the funds to completely pay for the Auto Lab and the HVAC projects. Will be done. So all done. Won't owe a penny, so that's an amazing thing. And here's a look at our fund balance, and it is also looking very, very good. We are well over $10 million above where we were at this time last year, and that puts us in a place where I can confidently say that we will not need a TAN this year. At the same time, I want to express again on behalf of all the admin, thank you for supporting us last year with that, because of course that's one of our main things is to avoid that. But with the 2 buildings and finishing those and having them completely paid and no debt on them, it was kind of worth it. So we will celebrate that. And I spoke with the tax commissioner today, and she says that the tax bills will go out on time. So that helps guarantee that our tax funds will start coming in coming in November, so we should be looking good. Should not be stretching it like we did last year. And then with our overall financials, you can see that, again, revenue's kind of a crazy thing to look at this time of year just because we haven't been getting a significant amount of property tax revenue. But we are still in a great place with our fund balance, and our expenditures are right in line with where we are at this time of year. And if you take out those open purchase orders, which are things that have not been paid yet, just requested, we are actually 1% below for this time of year. So we're at a great place. And here is the thing that I'm most excited about. So we are coming to you with a recommendation for the millage rate this year of a full rollback. So we are recommending the 15.324, and that comes along with the $4.3 million that our revenue declined because of the senior exemptions, which was almost a mill. And so we have been, along with your support and your decisions, we've been able to still be in a place where we can go with the full rollback rate, which we've not done in 10 years. The last time we did a full rollback rate was 2015. So super excited about that. And then the last thing that I have to present is our amended budget. And this does include the update of the revenue number, the property tax revenue number. And as you can see, our budget is now balanced, and it does not or will not need any dip in fund balance to operate our fiscal year. So all good news.
Thank you, Ms. Dodge. Quick question. So I know that we have to run the 5-year
History.
millage rate information in the newspaper. And then what's the timeline on that?
So it has to be, there has to be 7 days from when the ad is put in the local paper, and until the board can approve or adopt that millage rate. So I will be able to get it in for next week's paper, next week's edition, Wednesday, and then we will need you to agree on a date and time, anytime after September 17th, to go ahead and adopt that millage rate. So just whatever you decide, then I can go ahead and get that ad to the paper tomorrow, and get that information and get that 5-year history on in there. And then also on Monday, we will be having our official first budget hearing. I don't foresee there being, a lot of participation or comments, but we are required to have two hearings before we adopt the amended budget. So we will be doing the first one on Monday, and then the second one we'll do preceding the adoption of the millage rate at that called meeting, whenever y'all decide that is.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Thanks. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Board. I appreciate your time and presenting tonight. Just about 3 things I wanted to talk about. Our ridership, as you see that on there, last year we're averaging 11,170 students a day. Now that's morning and afternoon routes. That's not total students enrolled. That is morning routes, and our afternoon routes does not include our midday runs like Empower, et cetera. So as you can see, this year we're up to, we're probably at 12,000 now. We've seen an increase of 786 students over last year. Our average route times, I'm excited to announce we have gotten those down to roughly 1 hour and 5, down from 1 hour and 35 from last year. That comes from the increase of routes, a lot of new people coming on board that helps us split these routes up. And with our growth, we still have routes that we're definitely going to want to split up. Right now, on an average, we're adding 23 new riders every week, and that's mostly elementary students. The ridership figures do not include sports, fall sports, like Mr. Westbrook alluded to. It's 1,207 students. That's any sport, band, cheerleading. So those numbers are not included, and we see that increase usually around November, December as those sports start coming off. then we start getting about 48% of those students get back on a bus. So we will see that in the future, and we try to adjust our routes accordingly so we're prepared for it, and it's not, oh my goodness, I just picked up 40 new kids that I didn't know were coming. I think, let's see if I do this right. Oh, went wrong way. Nobody showed me how to work this thing. There we go. All right, we're excited. We are getting a lot of new drivers. Right now, I've had 7 new drivers that have successfully passed our third-party road test. We do all the training in-house. They don't have to go to DDS or do anything other than their permit and then go pick up their license. So we've had 7 pass. We have 2 that are going to be testing Saturday. Next Saturday, we're going to have 2 more. So that's 4 new drivers that we have, and that helps us get these routes smaller and more manageable. We had routes that did start out with about 40 kids, and it's taken us a month to where the bus is fully loaded. So those are routes that we want to start splitting up so that it is more manageable. And my last item, I talked to y'all last year about our first light. We have 3 more buses that we have to complete. That's the LED school bus and the stop signs. It makes them more visible for safety at night. I actually had a lady call me last year when I started to do it and wanted me to know what kind of reflective tape I was using. And I said, no, ma'am, it's actually an LED light. I am working closely with our DOE to put them as a state spec to where when you order a bus, they automatically come with it. So that's what I have for y'all. Do you have any questions? Cool. I have one. I have 1 vacancy.
Dwayne, I do have one question.
Yes, sir.
So with the growth, one thing that I think you and I are both seeing is the new neighborhoods that are coming online. How do we know when new neighborhoods are opening up and when those kids are moving in those houses? How do we facilitate making sure that all those kids get picked up?
One of the things that we start with the Infinite Campus, which is tied into our routing software. So as a student gets put in as a bus router, we automatically get that alert. And every day, supervisors, myself, we go in and see whether there's new students that need to be routed so that we can get them routed. And we still pick them up. The only ones that we have to pay close attention to are a brand-new neighborhood that we haven't been in yet. That usually comes with the first call if I need a bus ride. Then we start routing them. But our GIS map is updated every month. We were only doing it every 3 months last year, but with our growth, we felt that we needed to do it more frequently, and it automatically pulls those new neighborhoods in there. So every time Dr. Brown sends me a map, Joel Logan over at the county, he'll update GIS map for us, so we're prepared and we see it. What we also do with that is, as we start seeing that number with these route counts that we'll be doing every 2 months, that way we know in advance, that way we're seeing more. You know, this bus had 43 students, now I'm at 53. That's going to be a red flag bus for us because of the growth area. We want to be prepared and it not be, I've got 75 students on this bus, we're packed. So we try to stay way ahead of that in advance. Any other questions? Thank you.
Dr. Brown Board, I appreciate the opportunity to come and present this evening. We've got some monthly project updates that we'd like to share with you. And it starts off with our new project over 332. And as you can see from the picture, it's changed a lot since you were there at the ribbon cutting and dedication. So the timber clearing and grubbing are complete. We have started phase 1 of the erosion control, as you can see in that picture. And you see our silt fences up, ponds being worked on in the front, and then another front pond here. I think some of the biggest takeaway is that we should be receiving our 7-day letter around September the 11th, and then after that and everything checks out, we will begin grading full steam ahead. So very, very proud and appreciative of the partnership with Carol Daniel, Simpson Grading, and the great job and dedication that they're doing to meet our timelines.
Yeah, David, thanks for all your work on this. One of the challenges for us has been at the same time that we're working on our site, we also have to work with other entities like the Jackson County Water and Sewer Authority and the Georgia Department of Transportation and our county engineers. And they've done a nice job of supporting us. We're a little bit further ahead than they are, but they're working on upgrading 332 and Sam Freeman. And some of that work changes some of our work. And so it's been really important for us to stay in constant communication with Precision Planning, which is the group, the engineering group that the county uses for the road, along with the Georgia Department of Georgia Department of Transportation, to make sure that all the entities are talking together. We do not want a repeat of what happened at Skelton Road and the road not being completed by the time the schools are done. We've received assurance from the county that they will have their part done. So we're looking forward to a roundabout being on the corner at 332 and Boone, and a roundabout being at the corner of Sam Freeman and 332. We feel like this will allow traffic to move efficiently when these three schools come online, starting with the high school and the elementary school in August of '27. So thank you, David. I know David's been working really hard on this, and Mr. Wester's been working really hard, so thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Also, too, BP2 package is out, and Carol Daniel is working on gathering those bids, and we'll be hopefully in the next couple weeks, we'll be looking at that and seeing where we land on that. Next area is East Jackson Middle School synthetic turf field. I can't seem to say that right, Mr. Wester. At East Jackson High School, it is. I am proud to report that children have been playing and utilizing this field. The lights are up and should be commissioned this week and burning next week. We also have the last section of concrete was poured this week, so hope to be wrapping up that project in the next couple of weeks. Any questions on that?
I just like to comment that the community's really excited and really enjoyed using that, especially our youth football players.
Good.
Thank you. I told board member Dr. Brown.
Well, we appreciate your support and Dr. Brown's support and the community's support in being able to accomplish that. And I think it really has turned out very well. Look forward to seeing it used a lot more in the future. Moving to the Heroes Playfield, the grading is complete. We've got some dirt, as you can see in the back, that is they're finishing spreading that. Probably will finish up tomorrow. And then next week, the root zone material will come in, and hopefully toward the end of the week, we'll see some green sod being laid down. So we're very excited about that. Irrigation has also been worked on that, and we're tracking on a good pace with that. These are some of the aerial views of the site of the new pre-K 12 facility. So as you can see, this has definitely changed. All the trees are gone, and the installation of the BP1, the erosion control measures. And there's another view.
David, are those red clay lines, is that your path? Is that like what you're walking every day?
That is correct, sir. I'm getting my steps in every day, and I've only ruined a couple pair of khakis and shoes. So I appreciate you recognizing that. I do want to point out here, you can see this is the grading equipment that's staging and getting ready. So once we get that 7-day letter and it's complete, then you're going to see a big change, hopefully, next time we present, okay? And then just another quick view. Any questions?
All that dirt, that was all trees.
Right. And yes, you know, in our, let me say this about the trees, because they are important, they're important to us. In our architectural plan, of course, you know, we will be putting trees back and shrubs back. So I feel like that's very important to mention. And here you can get just an overview of some of the erosion control ponds and those being worked on. Right. Yes.
Existing structure up there, is that something that was there before?
So these buildings here, is that what you're referring to? Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson. These were existing structures barns, and eventually those will come down. Right now, we are using those for staging some of the equipment and some of the materials. But yes, sir, eventually they will come down, but those are existing structures. All right. Any other questions? Board, Dr. Brown, thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I'll echo what Mr. Sanders said. A couple nights ago, we had a fire line that broke at East Middle School, and David and his crew, when I drove by at 8:30, were still out there finishing it up. So tell your staff how much we appreciate, so that we could have school the next day and all the work that went in to make that happen and get repaired. So thank you.
Okay, we do have a need for executive session for personnel, so I need a motion to go to executive session. Moved by Mr. Johnson. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Hollett. All in favor? Aye. We shall return.